So Charlie, let's kind of talk a little bit of politics over here. There's some heated tension when you go to the court nowadays. Then it's between NDC and MPP. Okay. So right now, when you assess things, it's like NDC has gone to court actually, but then they don't have enough evidence. And who does that? Who goes to court without having as much evidence as possible? And then they don't even know what they're actually saying.
Yes, like please answer my question. And you had your opportunity to write your witness statement. So now you answer the questions. Do you understand?
Please, I'm asking the question again, and I answer according to my ability and what I consider to be the answer to the...
You know, as of now, what I see is someone like Asiedu Nketia. He's virtually wasting some time in court too, because you can sit down. How can you sit down for a lawyer to ask you a whole lot of questions? Then at the end, you'll be like, can you go again? You know, as he's sitting there, he doesn't know why he came there. That's to me. After watching the court proceedings and other stuff, to me, there are points that is sent to the court is invalid. And actually, I can say that Ghanaians made their choice when they voted NPP into power. Because after all, NPP has been able to do some things the NDC couldn't do. And we all testify to that free education is one of them. And when free education came, people were like, oh, this thing, it won't source, it won't be possible. You understand? But then they actually made it possible. And you know, one thing is, Ghanaians made their choice. That's the same way some years back, Ghanaians also made their choice and voted NDC into power. And MPP also sent it to court. But it was taken normally. When MPP lost, they didn't resort to violence or anything. But you can see that in 2020 general elections, when NDC lost, there was violence. They decided to resort to violence because they thought it wasn't. They did the right decision by actually realizing their mistake and bringing the case to court. But then I still don't see this case in court to be valid. I still don't see it to be valid because we as Ghanaians made our choice that we need the MPP in power to continue the good works they are doing. That's my opinion. Because when you look, someone says, but then when you look at other countries and the way COVID has been able to bring them down totally, and you compare that to Ghana, I would say the MPP have done very well in order to maintain a particular standard of living of Ghanaians, even in this COVID period. Because some other countries are there, they are really going through a lot. And even in the midst of COVID, government is still moving on with a free education policy. You know, I would say it's cool. It's the best you can have right now. And you know, people, I would say the MPP are being futuristic over here. Because as of now, you actually not see the advantage of free education now. But then, in let's say 10 years to come, in let's say 5 years to come, that's when you start reaping the benefit of this free education. So let's say this year, the first batch of free education students, most have entered the university. So then in the next 4 years, it means they will be completing university. So after 4 years, they can get their jobs to do. They will be well educated to be able to get some works to do. And even working, they'll be able to pay tax. They'll be able to fend for their families. They'll be able to help others out. So I see this thing to be futuristic. And I don't actually know why the NDC is still insisting that they want, because they should also sit down and think critically. Okay, when MPP came, this is what they did. Now you look at planting for food and jobs, it has really helped people in rural areas. And you look at the free education, they've done a whole lot of stuff that I would say going to court, because as my dad would say, courts in the mobile cool, but winning in court, it is a very, very, very small percentage that the NDC can win this case. It's almost impossible that the NDC can win this case, because even if you look at the election standings, Ghanaians made their choice. It was 51.30% to 47 point something percent against the NDC. So I would say going to court is not valid, and the NDC should just back down and just wait for next 4 years. So after next 4 years, now Ghana 4 years, don't say abra, then you can vote them in power. So that's my opinion. But you can also send your opinion in the comment section below. And also remember that if you have any shout out to anyone, as I just did in the opening of the video, you can also put them in the comment section. Or then I'll leave my number in the description, so you can contact me with your shout out. I'm Elijah, also a channel, and thanks for watching.